Let me be upfront with you. Bad Bunny, one of the biggest music stars on the planet, walked up to a woman at the most exclusive fashion event in the world and asked for her number. Not through a publicist, not through a text chain of mutual friends. He walked up, looked her in the eye, and asked. Now, her sister is telling the whole story to the press, and the internet has not been the same since. This is the kind of moment that sounds like it came straight out of a movie script, except it happened in real life, in front of cameras, flowers, celebrities, and enough designer fabric to clothe a small country. And somehow, the story only gets more interesting the deeper you go. Shh. Turn the volume up, but keep it low. This is rap deepest secrets, the one place the labels can't control, exposing the codes, the cover-ups, the real costs of fame. Help us to monetization by subscribing. Now, back to the video. The Met Gala is not just a party. You have to understand that first before any of this makes sense. The Met Gala is the Super Bowl of celebrity culture, except instead of touchdowns, you are judged on your outfit, your connections, and how unbothered you can look while being surrounded by some of the most famous people alive. Every year, on the first Monday of May, the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City becomes the most talked about building on Earth. The guest list is curated. The outfits are planned months in advance. Every single detail is controlled. Security is tighter than most government buildings. You do not just show up to the Met Gala. You are chosen. And even once you are inside, navigating that room is its own kind of sport. Everyone is watching everyone else. Every conversation, every glance, every subtle movement is noticed by someone. So when a man like Bad Bunny decides to shoot his shot in a room like that, it is not a small thing. It is a moment, a real one. Bad Bunny, whose real name is Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio, has been one of the most dominant forces in music for years now. The man sells out stadiums without blinking. His albums break streaming records before most people even finish their morning coffee. He is not just a musician at this point. He's a cultural force, a Puerto Rican artist who crossed every language barrier and made the whole world move to his rhythm. He has been linked to high-profile relationships before, most notably a very public romance with Kendall Jenner that kept gossip columns fed for months. So when someone says Bad Bunny was shooting his shot at the Met Gala, the world pays attention. This is not some random guy at a bar. This is a man who could have any conversation in that room, and he chose to have that one. Now enter Grace Ann Nader. If you do not know her name yet, you are about to. Grace Ann is the younger sister of Brooks Nader, the Sports Illustrated swimsuit model who has been building her own platform and media presence with serious momentum. Grace Ann herself has been moving in modeling and social circles, but this night was about to put her name in a completely different kind of conversation. According to Brooks, who sat down with Page 6 and did not hold back a single detail, Bad Bunny approached Grace Ann at the Met Gala and asked for her phone number. Directly. No games, no middlemen, just a straight ask. And that one move, that one interaction in a room full of thousands of distractions and flashing lights became the story that everybody started talking about. Brooks telling this story to Page 6 is itself a whole layer of intrigue you cannot ignore. Think about it. This is not Grace Ann telling it herself. This is her sister, her older sister, a public figure in her own right, sitting across from a reporter and casually dropping the information that one of the biggest music stars in the world asked her little sister for her number at the Met Gala. That is a very specific choice. You do not accidentally share something like that in an interview. Brooks clearly wanted people to know. Whether it was pride, excitement, a little bit of sisterly showing off, or something else entirely, she put that story out into the world and watched it catch fire. And catch fire it did. The timing of all of this matters too. Bad Bunny has been navigating public curiosity about his personal life for a while now. After the very visible Kendall Jenner chapter appeared to close, people were watching to see what came next for him romantically. Celebrities exist in this strange fishbowl where even their quiet moments get analyzed. So the idea that he was at the Met Gala in full fashion glory, making a move on someone, is the kind of detail that the internet was always going to devour. It confirms something people already sensed about him, which is that beneath all the global fame and the carefully constructed public image, there is still just a man who sees a woman he is interested in and decides to say something. That's human. That's relatable in a way that very few celebrity moments actually are. What makes this story hit even harder is what it says about the environment it happened in. The Met Gala is famously stiff. People are posing, performing, maintaining. Genuine, spontaneous human connection is not really the vibe of the evening. It's more like an elaborate performance that everyone agrees to participate in together. So for someone to cut through all of that and just go up to a person and ask for their number, that takes a certain kind of confidence, or maybe just genuine interest powerful enough to override the social rules of the room. Either way, it's a move that stands out. In a night where everything is choreographed and calculated, one unscripted moment became the thing people remembered most. Now, people are obviously wondering what happened next. Did Grace Ann give him the number? Are they talking? Is there something there? Or was it just a moment that stayed in that ballroom and never left? Brooks didn't lay out every detail, which is honestly the smartest thing she could have done, because now everyone is paying attention and waiting. The story has a hook, but no ending yet, and that open loop is what keeps people locked in. Nobody can stop thinking about it because nobody knows how it resolves. That's the oldest storytelling trick in the book, and it works every single time. The Nader sisters are not new to attention, but this particular story has elevated their profiles in a way that feels different. Grace Ann went from being known primarily as Brooks Nader's younger sister to the woman who caught Bad Bunny's eye at the most exclusive event of the year. That's a full character upgrade in the public imagination. And Brooks, by being the one to tell it, positioned herself as someone plugged into the most interesting moments happening at the highest levels of celebrity life. Both of them win from this story being out in the world, which again makes you think carefully about why Brooks chose to share it at all. The cultural weight of Bad Bunny's name attached to any romantic story cannot be understated. This is a man whose fan base is enormous, fiercely loyal, and deeply invested in his life both on and off the stage. When his name gets connected to someone new, that person instantly enters a much larger conversation. Millions of people are now Googling Grace Ann Nader. Millions more are forming opinions about whether they root for this or not. A single question asked in a glittery ballroom in New York City has traveled to every corner of the internet and landed in the feeds of people who have never been anywhere near a Met Gala and probably never will be. That's the reach of a name like Bad Bunny. That's the power of a good story told at the right time. And here's the thing that no one is saying out loud, but everyone is thinking. If this was just a harmless interaction that went nowhere, Brooks probably doesn't bring it up in a page 6 interview. People protect information that has no weight. You only share something like this when it feels significant, when it feels like the beginning of something, or at least like a moment worth preserving. The fact that it got shared at all tells you something. Maybe it confirms something. Maybe it's just a proud sister moment. But it doesn't feel like nothing. It feels like the first chapter of a story that hasn't finished being written yet. So here we are, the whole world watching, waiting to see if Bad Bunny and Grace Ann Nader end up being anything more than a story Brooks Nader told on a Tuesday afternoon to a page 6 reporter. And knowing how these things tend to go, it will not stay quiet for long. The next chapter is coming. You just have to pay attention. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this situation, so please share your opinions in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated on this story.